This is Tom Duty, middle-aged American, near the Lincoln Tunnel. If you were to visit my website, you would type Howdy Doody into Google. You'll find the correct spelling of the famous puppet. You then combine Tom Duty in a Google search for my site as messages for Vidya. Vidya, there we go. This is not scripted. Thoughtful, but not scripted. I'm already got a problem. So we're going to be referencing this several times. I gave you the username and password. The website is lowshiprate.com. And by the way, this has a possibility of being useful when I return. There's a number of times that DHL does nothing for a week, and then you get 5 on the following Monday. That was exaggerated. Maybe 3 on the following Monday. So these are the 3 most recent shipments. Now this is, I have 3 clients. 3 are kind of partnerships more than clients. This one happened to be Izzy, and he is in Union City. So this comes from the same neighborhood as Esperanza. It's not Esperanza's, but it very easily could have been Esperanza. La Paz, Bolivia. Then I got, this was Esperanza's, Ecuador. You will not have any work from Izzy now or in the future. I won't tell you why, but I won't tell you why in this format. I'll tell you why in another occasion. The Ecuador is Esperanza, and this is Taiwan. No, Taiwan was Izzy. So that is from my neighborhood. It went to Taiwan. So you go around my neighborhood, there's not a lot of Asians, but yet suddenly an Asian shows up, and the person happens to be Chinese, and they're shipping to Taiwan. Ecuador and Bolivia, those are both Esperanzas. 3 most recent shipments on the low ship rate account. So none of these are Adams, but ironically, Adams' neighborhood, based on what they ship, where the people are from, is very much like my neighborhood. Now, that doesn't strike you as odd, but it strikes me as odd because I am obviously in a neighborhood that has Spanish-speaking people of the Americas, Caribbean, Mexico, Central America, and South America. But Adam is not in such a neighborhood. It's not obvious that they're so dominant like in my neighborhood. Yet the shipments we get out of Adam's neighborhood in Arizona and mine in Union City, New Jersey, is roughly the same people. A couple Indians every now and then. China, we've gone to Japan, Vietnam. Esperanza keeps count of the countries. So we're way into the double digits, maybe 30 or more just from Esperanza alone. So here's the first thing. I get an address, and it's the very first thing I do. And I'm going to train you a conservative way to do this, to try to avoid errors. But please understand, I'm not wasting your time. I'm not teaching you how to do it in some, novice way. I'm not teaching you how to do it in some overly careful way when I actually do it differently. I do it in the same way. It happens to be more careful than what Adam does. So the first thing, I'm going to take that La Paz, okay, La Paz, Bolivia. And here's the first thing to realize about La Paz, Bolivia, is that you go here and you choose the country. Now you can type BOL and it would have gotten there. I usually don't for some reason. I'll do it both ways here. So this is Bolivia. That's simple. Or I could have done BOL, and I get Bolivia. So either way you get here, and the first thing to notice is that it's gray. Postal codes, there is no, even if they have a postal code, and sometimes they do on countries that don't need them, but the postal code might help you find the location on Google Maps and address it correctly. But when it comes time to make the label, you do not use a postal code. Postal code has no use in a Bolivia address. While I'm on this topic, I'm going to show you one that does. I'm going to show you two that do. So Ecuador. The white shows that that's a filled in. That's a required postal code. Now, if I go here and I type Cuenca, so where Esperanza's from, you'll show there's, many postal codes from Cuenca. Now this should be surprising to you in India, and me in the United States, because look at how many digits. That's 6 digits. 2, 4, 6 digits. And Cuenca is not big, but yet Cuenca has that many postal codes. So what that means is that these areas are very small. So if you start looking at how big the postal codes on Google Map, you'll see that a single postal code is like certainly a mail carrier's bag. He or she will be able to deliver to everyone in that postal code, and he or she probably has multiple postal codes. Postal codes in Ecuador are very small geography, like 3 blocks by 4 blocks. Now, the other thing about Ecuador, it is the hardest country in the world. And I've done enough of them to be able to substantiate that claim, even though I haven't done every country in the world. But I do know the ones that have postal codes, and the ones that have postal codes, the people come and they usually have a postal code, except Ecuador. So moving on, here's another example. Mexico. Now, Mexico requires postal codes. Now I'm going to type, try to type, not very good at spelling Mexico. Guadalajara. There it is, Guadalajara. Guadalajara is famous. And there, look how many postal codes Guadalajara. Guadalajara is also big. Well, it wasn't the best choice. If I had known Mexico City is better, I would have chosen something closer to the size of Cuenca. Guadalajara. Those are all the postal codes for Guadalajara. Now here's the important difference. Mexico requires postal codes. That's white. Ecuador requires postal codes. That's white. Bolivia does not. That's gray. Bolivia does not. That's gray. Okay, let me go back to Ecuador and Mexico. Ecuador requires postal codes. That's white. Mexico requires postal codes. That's white. Ecuador people never. It's almost completely true. No, it is true. To date, Ecuador people never provide the postal code. It's like the government decided there were postal codes. DHL follows what the government established, but yet the people of Ecuador, at least those shipping to Ecuador from my neighborhood, or Adam has shipped to Ecuador a couple times also from Arizona, these people never have the postal codes. Now here's the irony. The flip side, Mexico requires postal codes. Mexicans always have the postal codes. So if you get a postal code in Mexico and you do a Google map with the address they've given you, and you find that address in the postal code and it's Mexico, then you've got an easy to make label. You go in, which I'll cover in a minute, and you'll be able to fill it out. Now, when you have something like Ecuador, so in other words, you're going to get a street address. It's going to say, 123, 123, 123, Saint John Bosco, Calle de Saint John Bosco, Guadalajara, Mexico. And you're going to find that street address on Google Map. And you're going to also find that it's in the zip code that they gave you. That's a confirmed address. Very easy label. Now, moving on. Let's stay with Ecuador. So Ecuador, that postal code was not given to me, so I had to find it. So I did it. This is Don. I played around with what I was given, and I found the following. I went to Google, I went to Google Maps. I'm going to go to Google instead. I used to think Google and Google Maps were the same thing, but the search results are often different, and not just different in an important way, and not just different in an important way, but better. So I find Don Bosco, Quito, Ecuador. So here it is, and there's the postal code 170136. I didn't know I'd be able to recreate this. It's possibly the most difficult DHL label I've ever done. So as you see, I just went Don Bosco. Again, I want to repeat. I got this address minus the postal code. That postal code was from my research. I not only didn't have the one I'm about to paste here, but I didn't have a postal code at all. And so I'm going to put the one that Google gave me right here. As you can see, they're different. Don Bosco, Quito arrives at this postal code. But yet I use this one. It's the first time it's ever happened. I went to 170136. So I went to dct.dhl.com. I typed in, because I went to Google to find my postal code. I find the postal code. Now I want to check it. Ecuador. And it needs a postal code. So wouldn't it be great if I could just post this? Look I get nothing. I'll show you what happens when I punch the correct postal code. I'm going to tell you how I got that. You can see I got this wrong one on Google. Now, wrong is an arguable point. Look at that. 17036, Quito. So I choose Quito, and now I go back here, 170306, Quito, Ecuador. This is now a confirmed address, provided I can go in and I can find Valparaiso, N2, 232, y Chile, esquina, Puente de Don Bosco. As long as I can find that within this postal code in that country, in this city, then I got a confirmed address. This is a difficulty level of 10. Just so happens that it's second most recent shipping, so it's just an awesome training opportunity, because in all the hundreds of packages that I've done, this is the most difficult. So how did I get from this that Google gave me to this that is correct? Now, let me repeat. Correct is an arguable point. That's correct. We don't care what correct is. We care what DHL thinks correct is. So if that, according to DHL system, matches Quito, matches Ecuador, and that area is highlighted on the map, includes Valparaiso, Chile, Esquina, Puente de Don Bosco, then you got a confirmed address. That makes this correct as far as DHL is concerned. Remember, DHL package. Google is not. So this one came from Google. It is wrong. This one came from me. I don't know what I did to get it. I think I called DHL Ecuador. I didn't get any help. I ended up DHL USA, and I was able to get that number. This is one of those ones you can easily say, you know, I don't know, Esperanza. I can't make the label, so don't feel pressured to make the label if you don't have the right information. These people they will pressure you. Esperanza will even pressure you gently and politely. But don't succumb to pressure. It's a mistake. They can come back with $36 additional. So now you got a confirmed address there. That's how I did it. La Paz was easy. This, I told you, was not easy. And now this, I'm going to do this on DHL capability tool. So I'm going to go here. I think Taiwan is listed separately and not China. Taiwan. And if I post this code in here, see, Hsinchu City. And now I go Hsinchu City. So that's a confirmed address, provided this street address is in this Hsinchu City. You know, for instance, I live on 48th Street in Union City, New Jersey. So if this said 48th Street, you know, 805 48th Street, Hsinchu City, then you can't find 48th Street, Hsinchu City, then this is not verified. But as you can see, the postal code and the city match, provided you can find this street address on Google, you got a confirmed address. It becomes very easy. And the Chinese, this first Taiwan one that I've done that I remember, I may have done 1 or 2 Taiwan, but not anymore. I really think the other number of Taiwan deliveries I've done is 0. Although I've done many in China, China has a 6-digit postal code. So that's it for Hsinchu City. That's a confirmed address. This with the correct postal code is a confirmed address, and La Paz is a confirmed address. So once you know where it is, then this becomes very easy to find out if it's a remote area. So I'll do this one first. 170306. So I'm gonna show you how to get this. I'm not going to download it again. So I'm going to show you how to get it, and then I'm going to go to my downloaded copy. So here you go. This is just a Google search. DHL remote DHL remote area. So that's DHL.com, and that's going to give it to me. See, that also says PDF. So I'm not going to tap on that video because I think it immediately begins to download the file. So that's how you get it. I've already done it. It's on this phone, and I'm going to go to it right now. So I go to my files, and I keep it on this SD card. It's a big file. And there's download, and there it is. It's the only one I keep on this chip. And there it's a megabyte. I guess that's not as big as I thought in storage space, but wait till you see the document. See, that's page 1 of 191. Now, it is important to see the title on this, Remote Area List 2018. That is fresh. Even though we're well into 2018, this is a freshly published list. So as I said, we're going to do Ecuador. ECUDOR. Ecuador. Search. And there's Ecuador. So now I'm going to find out, like I say, I got a confirmed address for this is wrong. That came from on Google. This is correct. That came from DHL. So 170 is 170306, a remote area. And then you got to go through here. 1, 7 ones. It jumps from 150 to 171. So 170 would fit right in here. Would fit right in there. So if you read the small text on this, it'll say if it shows up on this list, then it's a remote area. And that amount of money, by the way, is an extra, and I'm going to write that for emphasis. That adds another remote area, adds another 36 USD. Ouch. Just for example, can send you this for Izzy a lot. Documents to Santo Domingo, $27. Document to Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, all the way across the island. You can see the lights of Puerto Rico from Punta Cana. It's a very, very far away from, it's like a 4-hour drive from Punta Cana to Santo Domingo. Santo Domingo's 27, so it's 27 plus 36. You can get it to Santo Domingo and delivered to someone's house for 27, and you do a plus 36 to go to Punta Cana and many other places on the island. This just happens to be one I remember. Punta Cana is famous, Vidya. It's a resort town. A lot of Americans go there for vacation. Dominican Republic is a classic Caribbean getaway. It's also inexpensive. And a lot of New York people are of Dominican origin, and the flights are abundantly available. So that's how you do remote area. Now, after all this video, you got a confirmed address. You know it is or is not a remote area. Now I'm going to do this as if I were you, but I'm not going to message. I'm going to do this for emphasis. I think it's good practice, and I'm advising you to continue this practice. So I'm going to my... Oh, Vidya, we don't really chat on... Okay, so you're here, and I'm going to message you. I realize now, I just remember now most of our chat is in... Our phone calls are here, our chat is in Google. But I'm doing this on WhatsApp for a reason. I go here and I say, Don, this is in conversation with Esperanza, even if she doesn't reply. Don Bosco Quito, not a remote area. Ping. Now I do that for a reason, because it is a reminder to Esperanza that I'm working on it. You know, my attention didn't suddenly go elsewhere. I didn't go off the grid with bad Wi-Fi or lost signal or something, or interrupted by a phone call. It's my way of telling her, hey, I'm working on it. And in addition to that, it makes a record. If I ever have to go back to this chat because of a dispute, I have that as a record that I did check it. Now, of course, I could have made a mistake when I checked it, but at least I checked it. So in the event of a dispute, I would recheck it. So with that aside, now we know valid address. Not a remote area or a remote area. This happens to be not a remote area. And now I'm ready to go. So all that happens. Remember, the service is provided by low ship rate, but you do all that before going to low ship rate. And I'm really not kidding you, Vidya. I don't cut these corners. If you sense that I'm teaching you like I would teach a complete novice, it's because I am. I am no longer a novice, but yet I do it the same way. Now, of course, doing it in training takes me longer than if I were doing it alone, but it still is a lot of steps to complete before I even go to the website to find the service. Okay, so I'm going to turn the phone away while I type this, my My email address is not a secret. So I'm going to turn the phone away and type the password. You know what the password is. It begins with the letter F, and it is not the F word or any part of the F word. That's your reminder. I'm going to type it. So now I'm in a little ship rate, and it says ship. You see ship is the tag I have. And then right here is quick quote. And right here is Ecuador. 170306 170306 right there. And then I come over here, International Express envelope, and I come over here, and I'm going to get a price here in a minute. And that's what I always round up. So I tell, so 35 and change, even if it's a nickel, I tell Esperanza 36. She is the one that chooses the sale price. Esperanza is a devout Catholic. We ship to Zambia for a nun of African descent. She's from Zambia. She was making a personal shipment to Zambia. And Esperanza, of course, discounted her. It's one of the only persons that Esperanza has discounted, but she cut her typical fee in half. So she will decide what the price is, and if she decides less, of course, you get less. I do the same way. She has to have the only way this works is she has to have the freedom to create the price. And so anyways, that's how you get the price. Now, how you create the label, you go here, click that edit. I'm going to do it, and I think I'll regret it. You click that little edit icon. Click the edit icon, and nothing happens. I don't know why that's not. Let me try this one. Old-fashioned way with a finger, and I'm just not getting it. So let me refresh. Now he says United States again, so I don't have to go through the quick quote button up here. Remember, if that 35 was a remote area, then you do 35 plus 15 for remote area. And then this one right here is I would change to, oh, I already have, I don't know why this is happening. Let me go ship. Here we go. Okay, it was just stuck on create. I'm not going to explain why that happened. I just remembered why it happened. But anyways, you start out fresh. And I go here to Ecuador, and I fill in the blanks. Now, city would be Quito, Don Bosco. These 3 address fields is your place to put all the detail that is more specific than country and city. Your detail is going to go here. In this case, your postal code is going to go there. Name, company. Now, my email address, I always put my email address. And yes, you can leave it as my email address, Neerlincoln at Hotmail. Or you can put your own. It doesn't matter. But definitely don't put the customer's. But you do put the customer's phone number. That may not seem logical, and I'm not going to explain why it is. Other than the short version, when there's a problem, you want them to call you. You want them to email you because you know you check your email. And you don't know that the other people check their email. In fact, chances are they don't check it frequently enough to detect a problem before it gets on its way to a dispute. So the phone number is different, though, because the driver could be in Quito, Don Bosco, and looking for the address, can't find it. You don't want that person calling you. So the customer, the destination phone number goes there. My email or yours goes there. And then over here, right there, my phone number, my email address are there. You can leave them. And then the sender's information goes here. That's Izzy's business address. So, and then you go here to express letter, express envelope. You type in document, and provided it's less than a half pound, then you're going to be able to click ship. If it's more than a half pound, then you got to go like this. DHL Express, you got to go International Express. Express envelope, that's if it's less than half a pound. Esperanza knows how to calculate that. And she has a scale, by the way. She'll tell you if it's more than half a pound. If it's more than half a pound, then you go, I go 10, 12, and 1. 10 inches, 12 inches, 1 inches. Weight, I say you always round up. So the only time you get to use a half pound is in the first half pound with documents. So I always round up. So if it's 1 pound and 2 ounces, then it's 2 pounds. And then you go over here, customs amount, I always put 1. And it's important that here you put documents. And it does change the price. If you did goods, or so you type documents here. And then right here, you choose document. That's going to have a lower price than if it was a book. And then when it's done, you'll get a price and you click ship. And it'll create your label. And it automatically downloads it and then email that to Esperanza. So I am not, almost everything is documents. So while I'm gone, you are only authorized, don't do any packages, no matter how much Esperanza asks you to do packages.